Dwayne Johnson for the 2032 U.S. presidential race.
Are the people ready?
They are not ready, but they need to see it.
Welcome to What the Hell Happened to Them? Dwayne The Rock Johnson saga marches on, but this week, April Fools, everybody! What movie are we doing, Joe?
1996's The Rock.
Will it star The Rock? Who knows? But yes, Joe.
It doesn't. Thank God.
It is directed by Michael Bay.
We return to our favorite Michael Bay.
Yeah.
From this miniseries.
It's not been a great... I guess it's Michael Bay and P.T. Anderson and the Safdie brothers. Like, that's the cream of the crop of all these movies we watch.
Hey. And Richard Kelly.
And Richard Kelly, who might only be able to make Donnie Darko, and that's it. Yes, we thought we'd have a little fun. There's a movie called The Rock. The Rock is not in it, but for April Fools, we thought we would do it. We hope that you will like it. Joe, give us the plot summary of this movie.
Oh, hold on. I forgot about that part.
We'll just make it up. It's fine.
You'll just make it up. First, I'll tell you, did you know there's an abandoned sequel? We'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
A mild-mannered chemist, played by Nicolas Cage, a mild-mannered chemist, and an ex-con. If you switch these two roles,
yeah.
Do you think the movie's like 0.5% better? Because, I mean, it's already 100%, so what do you want?
At the very least, it would be a more interesting movie.
Yeah.
just to see Nick Cage have to play criminal and to see Sean Connery be a mild-mannered chemist. The role he was born to play.
A mild-mannered chemist. Do you think someone had the absolute delight when they had to write this? That's so great. Mild-mannered chemist and an ex-con must lead the counter-strike when a rogue group of military men led by a renegade general.
A very pleasant and reasonable renegade general, I might add.
Threaten a nerve gas attack from Alcatraz against San Francisco. Holy shit, it's incredible. This is one of the most incredible, opening first 45 minutes ever.
We finally have an answer to the age-old question. What if Michael Bay directed Silence of the Lambs? Now we know. We find that we get a less satirical Dr. Strangelove.
A mild-mannered person is gentle and does not show extreme emotions. Excuse me, do they know who's playing this? I would never, ever. I don't care. Maybe... if you turn Nicolas Cage all the way down, even still though,
the Cage meter goes down to 1.
Yeah, I would never describe Nicolas Cage as mild-mannered ever in my entire life.
Who read the script and thought Nicolas Cage would be perfect for this?
Maybe trying to look at these guys and see who's the most mild-mannered out of all of them. That's the last thing I would describe any of these people as mild-mannered.
I mean, really the most mild-mannered one in this crew was the bad guy who was doing bad things, but very mild-mannered-y. He was like, hey, listen, the Pentagon, we're going to blow up San Francisco, so could you give us some money? You guys have not been very nice to the soldiers. And the Pentagon's like, fuck you, dude!
Yeah. Let me just tell you, there's an abandoned sequel in June 2017. 2017! 11 years after the movie.
They were going to release it or they started writing it?
Director Michael Bay discussed his idea for a follow-up to The Rock that never developed past the concept that Mason, who isn't that
Sean Connery, who either has just died or was very soon about to die and hadn't made a movie in 15 years.
Yeah, in the next 2 words, you'll be like, yeah? So that Mason is chased. You can't chase Sean Connery anymore. You're going to catch him right away. I'm sorry, you can't run that fast. By the government after escaping. Oh boy.
Escaping,
Well,
he
I'm glad
wasn't
they never
caught.
did it.
He wasn't
You
caught. He
don't-
went to go hang out with his daughter.
Yeah, that's why he escaped.
Like Sean Connery is not the vehicle for the sequel. It can only
Nicolas
be Nick
Cage.
Cage, and Nick Cage has to do the thing that G.I. Joe 2 did where like he goes and pays a visit to Mason, and Mason like helps him out, and then Nick Cage has to go and solve the problem.
and then he takes his face off.
Nick Cage. You know, I bet everybody at home's listening and they're like, oh, Nick Cage is an obvious choice for a season, but I don't want to do Nick Cage.
No, don't ruin it.
It's a little low-hanging fruit, Nick Cage.
Yeah. Also, it'd be way too enjoyable.
God, Joe. It is shocking how, like, we joke about it, obviously, but to sort of see it up front, we get a front row seat to how terrible an actor Nick Cage is crazy.
Can be. He's a good actor. He can be a bad actor.
And it makes me doubt it, though. It makes me doubt the good roles I've seen him in when I see this. But then maybe it just goes against my theory that Michael Bay knows how to work with actors. Because maybe he just doesn't. And this is why Nick Cage is all over the place.
Oh, I love some of this stuff, though.
And it just makes Dwayne Johnson's ability in Pain and Gain that much weirder.
And glory. This is your running bit where you.
I don't mean to do it. I just get confused. I really want to say Pain and Glory anytime I say pain but that's where the tongue wants to go before my brain gets there.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get the gains. You take the pain, but you don't want the gains.
I don't even think I've seen Pain and Glory, so I don't know why I want to do that.
I'm pretty sure you did.
All right, I don't remember it then.
Loved it.
I loved it. Nick Cage, yep, not great. Sean Connery.
Hold on. Excuse me, not great?
Not great.
You don't think he's great in this movie?
No, I don't. I don't know.
A hard disagree.
I don't even know if he knew he was playing a mild-mannered chemist outside of the scenes where he was telling me
what he was doing was he was playing whoever he wanted to in that one season. And you know what? I appreciate that. Like this time he was like, I think my guy, he just stubbed his foot, so he's going to be hopping a lot. Okay, hold on. So... do you want to guess the budget for this movie?
So how many movies had Michael Bay directed before this?
I believe this is his second film. This is the year after Bad Boys, which is
this is after Bad Boys?
This is a year after Bad Boys.
I thought Bad Boys was after this. Oh, man.
No, Bad Boys is 95. This is 96.
Then I would say $60 million.
Wow, $75 million.
Oh, that's a lot better than I was thinking. I was trying to equate it for like... I wanted to say 80, but then I was like, it's 96. Let me bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, I just think these statistics are like kind of funny compared to like box office budgets and all that stuff now. So The Rock grossed a total of $134 million in the US and Canada and $201 million elsewhere for a worldwide total of $335 million. It was the seventh highest grossing film for the US box office in 96 and the fourth highest grossing US film worldwide that year.
I know, they were simpler times, Joe, when you could
134, that's all it takes now.
You only had to put $75 million into a movie. You could make $300 million. That's that's a good chunk of pocket change you got there at the end of the day.
Everyone did well. Everyone goes home happy.
You don't have to constrain the box office output and the types of movies you make because you have to shoot for the fences each time.
And I'm going to tell you something. This movie looks great. I think it holds up pretty well.
Movie looks great. I think sometimes Michael Bay's directing gets in the way of some scenes.
Oh yeah.
I think he thinks sometimes he doesn't slow down enough.
Mm.
And we're just moving for the sake. We're just moving for the sake of moving, and he's kind of doing it in Pain and Gain, but at least it meshes better together. Here he's just like, what if I go this way? Oh, maybe this way will be fun. Ooh, now I'm dollying in. Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, intro, stakes are set, crazy gas that fucks up your skin. That's what I said for the beginning.
Yeah, I wish Ed Harris had talked a little less. The movie tries really hard to get us on his side, and I don't think it has to do it that much work. And it just sort of...
I'm already on his side. I like Ed Harris.
Yeah, like, it's like we kind of get what he's... Like once he goes to... I almost like it more if, like, he's just... They're just breaking in and stealing the stuff, and we're like, uh-oh, the bad guys. And then he calls into the Pentagon. He's like, hey, listen, you guys have been jerks, so pay these people nicely like you should have done it the whole time. And then I go, oh, wow, that was a twist I wasn't expecting. I'm kind of into this now. And then, like,
So-
I'd have been cool.
Ed Harris, right now at this point, I'm
Yeah.
going off the top of my head. So if
Yeah.
I mess anything up, don't get mad.
Okay.
So Ed Harris, the year before Apollo 13, everyone loves him because he's at home getting the boys back home.
Yeah.
And this year he has The Rock, and then next year he's talking to Jim Carrey through a microphone because he's in the Truman Show, man. He's given all those directions to all those people.
Yes.
You remember the Truman Show?
Ed Harris likes talking over a microphone to people.
Yeah, he's really
He loves
good at
video
it.
calling people. That's all. He
And
doesn't,
then-
he doesn't want to be in a room with them. He just wants to talk to them at afar.
Yeah, and they like even did like a little tiny callback in a movie that you always have diminishing returns to that I don't think you ever really liked. Do you know what I'm talking about already?
Gravity?
Alfonso Cuarón's Gravity.
Yeah, I know. He's also Mission Control there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
great.
wish people would
What a
stop
great
making me
voice.
watch this movie. I'm so done with it. I'm so over Gravity.
Yeah, I really haven't gone back to visit it.
You don't have to. It's going to be exactly the same. You're like, oh, yeah, I remember this. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pretty. Yeah, okay. That's fine.
It's-
It's actually less
I
pretty
remember
now,
she's-
6 or 7 years later, because that's how the technology ages poorly.
I remember there being a big screw that almost hit me in my face.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. Because it's when you don't have the 3D glasses on, a lot of these shots definitely call attention to themselves.
Yes. I'm like, get the screw, get the screw.
Yes. The
It's
screw.
coming in at my face.
Well, don't forget, Ed Harris is also now a cowboy. He's a bad guy cowboy.
Oh yeah, Westworld. I gave up
Westworld.
on that show quickly.
And then he was also Adam in the movie Mother,
yeah,
married to Eve.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, yes, that was Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm glad Michelle Pfeiffer's getting work. I actually think she's very good, and I wish...
Yeah, she's Michael Douglas's companion in the Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
Yeah.
She's the mother.
All right. I wish we did better things with her. Wait, that's who she is? Who's Tony Stark's love interest? What are you laughing about?
Because that's Gwyneth Paltrow, and there was this thing
Yeah.
that came out. She was like doing this like Netflix show with Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau said to her, she was like, so how many Marvel movies have you been? And she's like, just like 3, 4. And then he's like, no, wait, we did some Spider-Man movies together. And she's like, what? She didn't know she was in a Spider-Man movie. She didn't know she was in a Spider-Man movie.
Why is she in a Spider-Man movie?
Because they fucking green screened her, and then they didn't they were probably shooting at the end of one movie. Like, we can put this into another movie in this Spider-Man movie. Here, just take this scene for us. It's crazy. Those movies, they're just jumbles.
I like that she didn't even like want to watch. She's like, I don't want to see these Marvel movies. And so like, that's how she didn't know she was in it. Or also what would have been funny is that
That's great.
she knew she was in it, but has just blurred them all together because they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, and she's just like, oh, I didn't notice. Did that check clear? I got my goop. She's got goop.
She got good. Well, you know, it is. I think I can understand why I'm confusing Gwyneth Paltrow and Michelle Pfeiffer. Is that fair? Is that a fair thing to confuse?
Absolutely not.
What?
They look 1,000,000% different.
No, they don't. Do they? Do I not know what they look like?
Yeah, look at them.
I'll have to look at them. I guess I don't know. I guess the Michelle Pfeiffer I'm envisioning in my head is in like What Lies Beneath. Remember that movie?
That's 20 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm thinking of. Is Gwyneth Paltrow much younger than Michelle Pfeiffer? Is she like the 2000s Michelle Pfeiffer?
About 10 years.
I like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Can I confuse Michelle Pfeiffer and Gwyneth Paltrow with Kim Basinger?
Sure. I feel like if you mashed all those three faces up together, you'd get one of them.
Just like, yeah, A-list blonde Hollywood lady.
Yeah, sure. So moving on.
Though I think Michelle Pfeiffer's got some range. That's why I like Michelle Pfeiffer. I think
I agree.
I think I don't know. I think she never was successfully got out of Hollywood. But I think she could.
I have my next note was something that I feel like you're going to hard disagree with, but that's okay.
Okay.
Nick Cage is a legend. Everything he does is interesting.
Good Lord.
His excitement when he opens up that Beatles record at his desk and like the bubble wrap gets stuck to his face and he's just like, yeah, I've been looking for this one.
Yeah, right away I said.
You know what? I'm saying, Hank said it 2 years before. I'm saying Nick Cage should have gotten his double Oscar win. 95 for Leaving Las Vegas, 96 for The Rock. Give it to him.
I have
And he shoots a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Right away, I have no idea what Nick Cage wants in any scene. He opens up this Beatle album. He's very pumped about it. And yet, I learned nothing about the character, and this Beatles thing never comes up. So I don't know why we did this here.
It's fine.
I almost wonder if Nick Cage was super into the Beatles and wanted to do the scene. He's like, hey, Michael Bay, wouldn't it be great if I was really into old vinyl?
You know what? What if they didn't tell Nick Cage that they were filming, and then some fucking like
his package came,
PA assistant or whatever, a PA guy comes in and he's like, oh, Nick Cage, this package just came for you. He's like, oh, he opens it up. He's like, oh, God, I've been looking for this one. And they're just like, just keep it. This is fucking gold.
Yeah, and his co-star's like, why did you send that here? And then he's like, oh, Lisa Marie, she would kill me if I spent this much money on the Beatles.
Was it Lisa Marie in 96? We just went over this. I don't remember.
I don't remember the list. But yeah, like he was worried about his real life wife being mad that he bought the Beatles on his movie star salary.
Well, that's okay.
That'd be amusing.
So yeah, Nick Cage. I said Nick Cage is the definition of offbeat.
Offbeat
a year after his Oscar win.
Kind way of putting it.
Is this the same year he did Con Air?
I don't know, man.
Okay, so hold on, because Nick Cage. Let's just a quick Nick Cage run right here, in the middle of the 90s. In 95, right after he wins the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas. 96. Oh, just a lone movie in 96, a rare lone year for Nick Cage, The Rock. 97, he has the double whammy of Con Air and Face Off in the same fucking year. Incredible. Just like king shit right there. So good. 98. He settles down a little bit and he's like, how about a Wim Wenders remake? How about we do City of Angels? And then, you know what? De Palma. Let's do Snake Eyes.
Yeah, what are all these directors seeing in him? I don't understand.
No. Well, the next year, 99. Hey, Joel Schumacher, let's make 8mm. Oh, and Scorsese, let's do Bring Out the Dead. And you got Paul Schrader writing? Excellent. What a fucking 5-year run for this motherfucker. Jesus Christ. I'm impressed. Color me all of the impressed colors.
Yeah, Nick Cage is tricky to gauge because for the first quarter of the movie, he's like doing his best Jimmy Stewart impression.
Yeah, wait, did you say it's hard to gauge Nick Cage?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then there's like a 20-minute chase segment where it looks like he's clearly prepping for Gone in 60 Seconds. And then afterwards...
4 years before he got the role?
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get ready for stealing all these cars. Let me ride this motorcycle around. Even though I'm mild-mannered, I can definitely drive safely around San Francisco. And then afterwards, he clearly drops the mild-mannered and is now like soldier that also knows about chemistry. It's very tricky.
The fucking directors he works with, though, what a run.
I know, that's what's confusing. I almost wonder if Coppola's like bothering them and being like, hey, can you help out my guy here? I'll make it worth your while someday. And they're like, fuck, well, we can't say no to Francis Ford Coppola.
Do you know that Nick Cage worked with Werner Herzog?
What?
Do you know what movie it is?
No.
A semi-sequel to Bad Lieutenant called Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Why is it a semi-sequel?
Because there's a movie called Bad Lieutenant already.
Oh, I thought this was an actual sequel to a movie called Bad Lieutenant.
No, it's just a movie that's called Bad Lieutenant.
So was Werner Herzog in the movie with him? Or
no, he directed it.
He directed. This is a documentary, and Nick Cage is
Oh, it's absolutely not a documentary. This is a fictional tale.
Well, you know, it's what Werner Herzog is known for, his fiction movies.
I mean, sometimes. Once in a while.
Okay.
But, ooh, boy. And then, like, at a certain point, though, he's just like, I really don't need to work with good directors anymore. I'm just going to work with whoever will work with me. And I'm like, maybe that wasn't the best idea, but it's okay.
I mean, it's not like directors were getting that much out of him anyway, you know? So, like, what did it matter?
What do you mean? They're getting too much sometimes. What do you mean?
Yeah, they can't wrangle him in.
Yeah, that's fine sometimes.
So
sometimes
it's good directors, works with bad directors, doesn't matter. It's whatever Nick Cage wants that day.
Yeah, wait, so are you...
He's going to matchstick men some people.
You don't like Nick Cage at all? Ever?
Not at all, but like, you know, all the good movies I've seen of him get erased in my memories anytime I see him in this one. Right?
And The Rock? You don't like The Rock?
The Rock overall is
good.
A fine-ish movie, Nick Cage in it is awful. Wow. Is awful in this movie. He might be the worst part of this movie. And then the second worst part is Michael Bay's overindulgence in camera movements and rain. There is so much rain in the first 20 minutes of this movie because he cannot help himself. He cannot have a guy be at a tombstone and be like, listen, I'm going to make this better. No, rain's going to be going everywhere. We got to be really far away. This Hans Zimmer score is going to be punctuating everything. It's too much, Michael Bay. Slow down a bit. And this movie also is totally...
you had a problem with it.
The end of this movie is so weird in that it seems to be a different genre. And I guess this movie also admits to aliens and that JFK was shot by the government.
Wasn't he?
Like the movie is making these bold claims, and Ed Harris's minions are Dr. Cox from Scrub and the Candyman.
Oh, yes. Hold on, let me do these actors off the top of my head.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Okay.
When I see their names, I'm like, you dummy. Hold on. Tony Todd. Oh, John C. McGinley.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got him when I looked him up.
Yeah, there you go. Like the script itself, I think, is fine. You know, for a blockbuster kind of movie, it's a perfectly reasonable script. It even has some interesting moments in it. For Michael Bay's benefit, if he directed it now, I think it would be a much better movie. I just hope he wouldn't cast Nicolas Cage again.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oof.
Oof, indeed.
We disagree heartily. John Spencer, always good. Do you know who he is?
No.
He's from The West Wing. He's Chief of Staff Leo McGarry.
Oh, I know The West Wing. Okay.
Yeah. John Spencer,
okay.
he's great in this
I see it now.
And then fucking Philip Baker Hall. Holy shit, this movie is just grounded so heartily, and whenever he talks, I'm like, oh, this is a real situation. There is a problem going on. We need to take care of it. Where is our troops? I don't know. You got to get me back on track. You're the one that stays on track. What's going on here?
Well, I'm trying to find pictures of Michelle Pfeiffer and Gwyneth Paltrow to prove I'm right.
Yeah, so hold on. So when you say Michael Bay's like over direction, are you talking about the close up on the spinning quarter and how it's? Do you remember that? It did it for like 30 seconds. It was just a close up on his spinning quarter, like that fell off the table and just kept spinning, and it was just like, bong. And I'm like, yeah. And then Nicolas Cage mentioning Sean Connery's hair looking grungy, and then Sean Connery saying, "Grunge." It's great. So wonderful.
The quarter.
He needed that haircut, though. I don't like Connery with long hair. Not into it.
Yeah, he looked like the bad guy in Lord of the Rings.
Right?
No, the bad guy in Lord of the Rings.
Which one? There's a lot of bad guys. Are you talking about one of the trolls?
No, the trolls. No, the guy who plays who's been in like 100 movies. The old guy, and then he was in Star Wars.
You're the worst today. You're so off.
Joe, I won't lie to you. I'm drunk.
I don't believe that.
I've been hitting it hard here at 8:30 in the morning. I think it is totally, looking at pictures of both of them, I think it is totally fair for me to confuse these two actresses.
Well, that's fair for you because you have face blindness.
No, look at them. They got the same type of hair. The same basic head shape. It's fair.
An oval?
They're not cartoons, Joe. Jesus. I think
they don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I have more of an egg-shaped head.
So some interesting things to remind us that we're in the 90s.
Running by it.
Giant cell phones, references to the Balkan Wars, and Nick Cage's love interest being like, you have to marry me because I can't be unmarried and pregnant.
Crazy.
This movie also reminded me, remember, I call it the Jurassic Park effect. Remember when movies in the 90s and in late 80s loved showing people on computers with green text from the computer projected onto their face?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Did they ever do that? Like, why did movie makers always go to that visual trope?
I don't know. I wasn't using computers in the 80s and 90s. Maybe that's just how it was.
In my Latin class, Joe, in high school, for some reason, my great Latin teacher, Mr. Lynch, refused to get rid of the old Apple IIe computers in the back of the classroom. And so, but like he had old Latin games you could play on it. And by play on it, I mean Computer couldn't turn on until you inserted a giant floppy disk in, because the computer wouldn't know what to do. There was no reason for the computer to turn on unless a floppy disk program was put in, because there was nothing else the computer could do except what was on these floppy disks. So you'd put in these Latin games and then you'd be able to play.
Crazy.
And you may remember after we left, the school tried to fundraise so they could build the new high school. And part of their video campaign for that was going into that classroom, showing the Apple IIs and be like, look at how outdated all of our technology is.
Wow.
Well played, Franklin High. Well played.
And then they got that grant.
And then they did indeed get the grant. Clever girl.
Oh, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park reference, I know.
So you didn't like the movie?
I said the movie is fine-ish, but the things I would improve it are get Michael Bay now to direct it, and do not put Nick Cage in this movie.
So you want the sequel without Sean Connery, or do you want them to digitally recreate Sean Connery?
Yeah, you might as well do that at this point if you're recreating everybody.
Do you remember that movie that they said they announced that they were going to bring back? What's his name? The Rebel Without a Cause. Why? James Dean.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They were going to digitally recreate James Dean to give a starring role performance in a movie.
I don't think you have enough Jimmy Dean sausages. I don't think you have enough James Dean imagery to be able to successfully do that. So I'm hope that they do not do that. That would be terrible.
I haven't seen the movie, but I saw that he's in this movie called Giant, and that's 3 hours long. They can't just pull from that movie.
Yeah, he's only in 3 movies, Joe.
I know. Can you name them?
It is.
I gave you 2 already.
It is Giant, Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden. Those are the 3 he's in.
Oh, East of Eden. Wow, you do know. Okay.
Yeah, I know him. I got my James Dean down. I got my Elia Kazan down.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. I am not a medical person. What thing would you be able to inject in your heart that 1 would cure a disease and 2 not kill you?
Adrenaline? Is it adrenaline?
I don't. I'm sure there is something, because again, I'm not a medical expert, but that the cure to this disease, this noxious gas, is stabbing yourself in the heart with a giant needle and inserting a liquid into your heart.
Also, they're not doing. I got the adrenaline thing from Pulp Fiction, because that's the first thing I think of when someone's stabbing in the heart with a needle.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
They didn't fucking pinpoint the heart. They're just guessing. At least in Pulp Fiction, they draw a little red dot. You gotta hit the red dot.
I would only have a general idea of where my heart is, but I don't trust myself to be able to aim for my heart correctly. I think it's like over. It's like kind of in the center more though. Like I have a big fucking sternum here to protect my heart. And I got to go between ribs and hope I don't hit it. I would be like, oh, can you teach me? Can you teach me where exactly I should be stabbing myself just to make sure I get it right? Because I won't have much time.
Put your sight beam on with your gun and show me where I should stab myself before you shoot me. And
I'm thinking, why didn't we find a better cure for this by now?
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh.
What?
Have we stumbled upon
the
vaccine?
Oh, wow. At least
we stumbled into it.
At least the COVID vaccine, we don't have to stab into our hearts. We only have to take it twice.
In the arm.
Yes, in a much better place.
Yes.
A much more reasonable place.
We're okay to be stabbed in the arm.
The arm, the butt, all fine places to get stabbed.
Oh, man. Can you imagine having to, just pull your pants down and you're like, all right, give me my 2 shots of my ass cheeks. I don't have this virus anymore.
My health insurance is going to pay me to get this vaccine. Whenever I get it, they're going to pay me to do it and they have also sent me you
have to pay for the vaccine?
No. They're going to pay me for the vaccine. Oh, okay. They're really encouraging me to get the vaccine. And it came with a letter that was 6 pages long that's there's some talk out there going that the vaccine doesn't work, or that it's bad for you, or that it's going to implant a chip. Here's all the reasons why that's not true. They really want to make sure that I get vaccinated, and are going to pay me up to $50 to do it. To which I say, okay.
Huh,
fine.
Okay.
I was going to do it anyway, but if you're going to pay me, I'll kick and scream a little bit.
You want to go back to life?
Yeah.
I feel like this movie is great, but do you think it could be greater by casting? Well, I want you to recast The Rock And
Okay.
which role would you put The Rock in?
As the Ed Harris role.
All right.
Yeah.
That could work.
I think I would.
also,
I've enjoyed him when he's been
we're-
the villain. So
Then I guess so. Then if we're recasting it and we're putting The Rock in the Ed Harris role, can we move
Yeah.
Ed Harris to perhaps the Sean Connery role?
yeah, I worry if he doesn't have enough joviality to that, it becomes a
All
very
right.
different
So Nick
role.
Cage is the Sean Connery role.
No.
Yes, absolutely. And he can have his grunge long hair.
Oh my god.
And we'll just keep it that way the whole movie. We won't have him cut it.
I have
Maybe
no
he'll
idea.
if you've seen, he'll have like a new kind of braid or like a new hairstyle. Maybe an updo. Yeah.
I have no idea how Sean Connery threw a person over the railing tied to a rope and was able to hold on to that rope and not get rope burns. He didn't have it noosed around his arm. He was just holding a rope, Joe. And then he tied it around a chair.
I just think it's so funny that you try to bring logic into a Michael Bay movie where logic doesn't exist. This is a new world we're living. It's an alternate reality where Michael Bay makes movies where logic is missed and there's no such thing as gravity anymore, and his camera is just constantly moving.
Yes.
Camera doesn't stop. He has to like hold on to it to like aim it, but like it just always is moving, so that's why he can't stop.
Oh, he can't stop. He's like a shark. If he stops moving the camera, he'll die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. Yes, that is Michael Bay.
Michael Bay
to
is a
T.
directing
He's a
shark.
shark, and if he stops moving, he will die. Also, he's got a big bite.
we see a photo of Michael Bay. It's a shark with like a hat and like some like little blonde hair coming out, and like his face is all tanned.
I want someone to take the Maui The Rock when he's a shark half person move and from Moana and just give it like Michael Bay head. But also like a shark Michael Bay head.
All right. Well, since we're talking about The Rock, do you want to talk about Young Rock now?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, well then I'll go over it real quick for you.
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople, been a long time gone.
I forgot all about this fucking show.
Yeah, so like I texted you, Young Rock, we're back to high school, and you may remember last time he like was trying to impress this girl, and then he brought her to the wrestling, and she was into the wrestling, but then somebody else called it fake, so he punches him. Well, now The Rock's got to deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah, because it's High School Rock, right?
It's High School Rock again. Yep, we're back to that.
That's a good rock.
So some good jokes in this one. So that's why I don't know if one writer is handling all the high school episodes, and that's why it seems to be the most
better.
even of them all. Yeah, a lot of fun jokes in there. I won't sort of enumerate them now to save time. But then like his mother can't find his father's off at a wrestling convention, so his mother can't get a hold of him. So she has to figure out how to discipline him. And the Rock, meanwhile, is trying to go to Zales to buy some diamond earrings.
Was it specifically Zales, though?
It was specifically Zales, yeah. And they say the name like 8 times.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and then she like finds him and like makes him go to work with her, but then he steals like her boss's fancy purse, and so then there's like they have to have the mother and the employer have to have a heart-to-heart. And Dwayne The Rock has to learn that he doesn't have to steal to impress women. And so he chooses not to go on a date with the woman and stay at home with his mom. And then eventually...
that's so sweet.
Yeah, and then eventually the father finally calls the mom, and the mom's like, you know what? It's taken care of. And then the father's a little bit of a jerk. And like that's... And then they bring in The Rock's like live mother, real life mother to finish the interview. Randall Park is back, interviewing The Rock, trying to figure out who his running mate's going to be. And then The Rock tells this story. I'm not quite sure why. I guess he said he wanted to find a running mate that would have the qualities that his mom had.
Oh, it's just me a woman? That's fun.
Maybe, I don't know. So I don't know, but yeah. So Randall, what sort of stood out to me is I definitely feel Mr. Geremini's kind of propaganda view of like The Rock can do no wrong. We need to like there are even like campaign slogans already on like the back wall of this interview room he's in. Like it's really he's really spreading the seeds. But also what I noticed in The Rock and Randall Park's interactions are sort of like everything I don't like about why I don't find The Rock charismatic is like he can never be the butt of the jokes here. Like it's always at Randall Park's expense, and The Rock is just like cool guy all the time, says everything right, makes fun of Randall Park. He has to take himself too seriously. And then he talks to his mom, and like he really loves his mom because she's great and he's a family man, so he's great. That's what sort of stood out to me in this episode. But you could go back and watch it, Joe. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
So I'm trying to find a running mate to go with The Rock.
Yeah.
And so I looked up someone with the last name Rowe, so you can do like a Rock and Rowe campaign.
Oh, God. Well, who did you find with the last name Rowe?
There's just fucking producers that I don't care about, so it's not going to work. So, put that in the trash can.
Did you try anyone with the last name Roll?
I mean, I didn't even think of that.
What about that guy who rickrolls people?
Rick Ash?
Yeah, I guess his last name wouldn't be Roll. That wouldn't make sense.
Roll. Oh, Henry Rollins. We could do
Rock
the
and
Rock and
Rollins.
Rollins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's good. I would vote for them. That's great. Why would you say no to this guy?
Oh, God.
Holy shit, he's looking right at you.
Yeah, that is a vice president that will get some Tide legislation passed.
He will get shit done. Oh, my God. And he's an activist. Wow. Excellent. Didn't even know it.
Mm-hmm. But, like, what kind of activist? Is he, like, a pro-gasoline activist? Or, like, what? Is that a type of activist you could be?
He gaslights people?
He's like pro slaughtering animals.
Maybe he's an activist for activating things.
Like an activist for Activision.
Yeah, like the video game company.
Yes. He's just really into video game rights.
So I like this movie. You didn't like it.
I liked it fine. It's like a mid level. This is like a C. I'll give it a C+ movie.
I would say this is the second greatest Rock movie.
Yeah, maybe. It certainly would be in my top 5, I think.
I tell you, this is way better than fucking Skyscraper, so I can't be like more grateful enough that we watched this.
I'm a little surprised it's on the Criterion. I get it, but
how did we forget to talk about
I'm a little surprised, and I'm just wondering, like, what would the special features on this thing even be?
Oh, God.
Like, I don't want to know if I would. That would be director's commentary I wouldn't want to hear.
I would love to hear it if, for some reason, Ben Affleck just dropped in and say, hey, I'm going to work with Michael next year. I'd like to comment on his movie because I've told you before, his Armageddon commentary is legendary, where he just kind of like takes the wind out of Michael Bay's sails every time, and he's just like, why are we wasting money on this helicopter? We are not even shooting the helicopter. You just have a helicopter on set because you think it's cool.
Yeah, he needs things moving around all the time. He's got problems. No, but I'm like, I wonder if like this was early in the Criterion's lifespan.
It absolutely was.
And so like this is kind of like an easy get for them that kind of is a big budget success, but feels indie in like it's what it's trying to say about America, albeit very bluntly and uninterestingly, but maybe that was enough in 1996, you know?
It has such a boring cover too. Have you seen it?
The other Alcatraz movie I'm thinking of is Escape from Alcatraz, which should be good because it has Clint Eastwood as the guy trying to escape from Alcatraz and my favorite Patrick McGoohan as the warden trying to keep him in Alcatraz. And somehow, not a very interesting movie. Not sure why, but not very good.
I'm sorry. Let me tell you, I got the special. It's a special edition double disc set. I mean, they couldn't fit much on a disc back then, so.
Oh, I guess that's true. They're DVDs, yeah.
New widescreen digital transfer approved by Michael Bay and enhanced for 16:9 televisions.
Okay.
Nice. Adobe Digital DTS 5.1 surround soundtrack. Here's the real money, though. Audio commentary by Michael Bay, producer Jerry Bruckheimer, actors Nicolas Cage and Ed Harris, and technical advisor Harry Humphreys.
That's too many people giving commentary. That is.
I'm sure it's split up because back then they didn't really know how to do commentaries.
Yeah.
So when they get, well, I mean, maybe it's better because they used to just like let people record whatever the fuck they wanted to, and then they would just go back and edit them all together so they sound like they're in the same room.
I see. Okay, that's interesting.
Which is, yeah, it could kind of be a little bit more interesting. There's a video interview with Jerry Bruckheimer, analysis of the dive sequence, special effects. There's movie magic episode. There's a do's and don'ts of Hollywood gunplay.
Okay.
Excerpt from Secrets of Alcatraz, a documentary by a la carte, a storyboards, production design, drawings, and production stills, a theatrical trailer and TV spots, outtakes selected by Michael Bay. So what he thought was okay to put on this outtakes.
And these outtakes, not deleted scenes,
oh my
right?
God, that's incredible.
What?
The Rock world premiere on Alcatraz. They premiered the movie at Alcatraz.
Yeah, I guess. Why not,
That's
right?
incredible. And they have English subtitles.
For the hard
Very
of
nice.
hearing. It's very nice of them.
Yes, for deaf and hard of hearing.
Okay.
And that new shitty cover is by Gordon Reynolds. The poster is incredible. Those three giant faces: Ed Harris, Sean Connery, and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, they love doing big faces back then.
But it works for this one because you're like, this is a star-driven movie.
How nice must it be to be at Sean Connery's level, where you can be first billed but not show up in the movie for 32 minutes?
Yeah, it's excellent.
How great is that?
How great is it that at first I was like, wait, have I ever seen a Sean Connery movie? And then I was like trying to think. I'm like,
You haven't seen Highlander?
Never seen Highlander.
What about Highlander 2? The Quickening.
No, not. But then I was just like, well, I'm just totally erasing the fact that I saw Zardoz.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go.
Incredible.
Feels
Also,
fair movie
I
to
have seen
erase.
one of his James Bond movies. I believe it's Goldfinger.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then I also forgot that I saw the last Indiana Jones movie.
Not
the second to last Indiana Jones movie.
The penultimate, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not even the penultimate anymore because they're making a new one with an 80-year-old Harrison Ford.
Well, at least after that fourth one came out, there was a lot of talk about like, hey, let's reboot Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt. And I want none of that. But at least it sounds like they're stepping away from that. So that's good.
Yeah, oh, no, they're not doing that at all.
Phew. Phew.
You dodged that bullet.
I can't handle another Chris Pratt franchise. I can't do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. What?
This one called The Tomorrow War coming out.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know,
The
but it's coming out on
Tomorrow
Amazon.
War?
Yeah.
I don't want that. Nobody wants that.
I don't know if I don't want it. I don't know.
Have you been able to delve into your Wong Kar-wai box set?
I have not. I was going to start today probably.
I did one yesterday. I did the Chungking Express again yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
Yeah, it's still good. I like it. I love the design of this box set. There's something so pleasant about it.
It is.
I feel refined for having this box set. And unlike the Godzilla box set, which is fun and quirky and cool, I can fit this one in my movies.
Oh yeah, it's so nice and small,
Yes,
and
very compact.
it's almost the regular size of a Blu-ray.
Yeah, and
it's a little bigger.
It's got this giant book inside of it, and it's got art prints inside of the book.
Incredible!
It's great. Well done, Criterion. Good stuff.
Money
there.
well spent. Also, I think it came to about like 155 for me, and I divided that up by 7 movies because there's 7 movies in there, and so I think it came out to like $27 or something for each movie.
If it's 155, yeah, you're dealing with like 23 probably. Like
that's even better.
That's the price of like a Criterion DVD.
Yeah, like when they do their like Blu-ray sales.
Yeah,
it's around that price. So that's great.
I know.
Good job.
It's good stuff we got there, and
yeah,
and they're just great, and they're great movies. That's that opening score for Chungking Express when you get to it, Joe. Ooh, it's so magical.
I kind of just want to dive into the one that I've always seen the picture for at the Brattle, In the Mood for Love.
In the Mood for Love. I think if you haven't seen any of them, you should just go in order.
Yeah, I do want to do that as well.
See how he's grown as a filmmaker. I think that's an interesting way to go.
Yeah, that's incredible. I've never been able to really do that. So maybe I should start.
That's what we get to do here in our podcast.
Kinda.
Right? Should Wong Kar-wai be our third season? And we're like, what happened to this guy? He only got better.
He's just an incredible filmmaker.
Started off great and it got better.
I mean, wouldn't buck up against that because I already have 7 of his movies.
He doesn't have that many more, so we do have...
No, I think there's 11.
Yeah, and there are a lot of ones he did like really early on that are just like hard to remaster at all, just based on how the Chinese store their
films.
Have
you seen his English language debut?
No,
My Blueberry Nights?
No, I have not.
It's got Nora Jones and Jude Law and Natalie Portman, I think.
Crazy. It's
apparently not very well received.
Oh.
But you know what? I don't care. It's going to be better than a Rock movie.
Yeah, very, very likely. What if The Rock was in a Wong Kar-wai movie?
Sure, be pretty good.
At least we would get to see a well-directed Rock movie. That would be nice.
I would probably keep The Rock talking to very minimal.
Yes, I think that's
say,
the way
talk.
to use The Rock.
I would just have him, and I haven't seen a Wong Kar-wai movie, but I think there's a lot of kissing in them.
Yeah, well, here's
Right.
the deal. I would not always. I would want The Rock in the movie, but I would want it to be an all Chinese movie, and The Rock is just like the random American that's in the movie.
Yeah,
The token American guy.
and he's just there to type on the computer and say yes.
Yeah, I don't know how I would use him, but yeah, you could. I think
I would.
You could do
I would
interesting
stick him
stuff.
in a very, very tight button-up shirt that he would be kind of bulging
Yeah.
out of, but he would just be like wearing these like thick rim glasses.
I mean, it sounds like you just want him to be Chris Pratt and her.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's like he's just kind of like hanging around on the side.
Is that
and
the best Chris Pratt?
Probably. The minimally used Chris Pratt is the best Chris Pratt.
I
No,
mean,
but I think that works because he's not trying to be like aggressively funny. He's not being in my face about how wacky he is, but also he's not being like smoldering, steely-eyed action hero guy. He's just like
I don't
some
think
dude.
it works. I don't think the action hero works for him. I wish he would just kind of stick to like oddball comedy.
Yeah, he seems like a guy who was watched action films growing up and really likes them and is now trying to be action star. He's acting like an action star and not like a guy who happens to be in an action movie.
Yeah.
That's the limitations of his acting skills.
Do you want to know what the limitations of his acting skills are? Have you seen Passengers?
No, I have not.
Christ.
It's no The Passenger.
deranged.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that movie's double feature, The Passenger and Passengers.
Yeah, if your movie is only Chris Pratt and a talented actress, and that's the majority of the people holding up your movie, you are in trouble.
Yeah, I think you're forgetting there is a oh my god, what is his name? I am so blanking on actors' names today. He's in the Ocean's 11 movie. He's like the bad guy.
Oh, that's not helpful.
George Clooney.
There's like a million people in Ocean's 11.
He's a very Italian guy. I think he's Italian at least. He's in a lot of mob things.
Bobby Cannavale.
I wish. That's who I would replace him with.
Famed video game villain, Bobby Cannavale.
That's very funny. Andy Garcia.
Oh, yes. Wasn't he in Godfather 3?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did forget about him in that
Yeah,
movie.
he's in Passengers for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. I would...
We're forgetting about the third guy, Michael Sheen. He plays the robot bartender.
Yeah, if I'm Chris Pratt and I have to act against Jennifer Lawrence and Michael Sheen,
I know.
I'm like, oh, the jig is up. They're all gonna find out. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Michael Sheen's great.
Okay. Well, what do you have? What are your last looks on The Rock, Joe?
The Rock, please, Criterion, release this on Blu-ray so I can buy it.
God.
I want. You know how they do their re-releases?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They need to do that in Armageddon, and I don't like Armageddon that much, but I want that commentary.
Maybe they'll do it. Yeah, as a Michael Bay 2-pack.
That would be incredible. Isn't it crazy that Michael Bay has 2 movies in the Criterion collection?
The Rock, I get more than Armageddon. I don't know what their thought
Armageddon
was
is kind of
there.
trash. I don't know why people like it.
I wonder if it's like they have like
so bloated.
yeah, maybe they have like a deal like they have with Wes Anderson where they just automatically release his movies, and then after Armageddon they were like, you know what, no more.
Yeah, pass.
If you're gonna if this is what you're really doing, then no, that's okay.
Also, the cover for that Criterion Armageddon is even more trash than the Rock one.
Yeah.
At least the Rock one, it has like, you got the little tiny Alcatraz island. Armageddon, I believe, is just the title Armageddon with flames around it. It's so bad.
Oh,
and it's like, it's small. They're like, it's minimalist. I'm like, no, this movie is the opposite. Are you trying to
Mislead
jokes,
the public.
Criterion, figure out your jokes.
Maybe maybe the Criterion just likes irony.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is.
Not into it.
Yeah, The Rock was okay. It was, I wish more blockbuster movies were like this, but also of this budget range and of this scope.
Yeah, because a lot of the stunts were practical.
Yeah,
That's
this
fun.
movie's trying to do things, and I appreciate what it's trying to do. I just wish, I think an experienced Michael Bay could definitely handle the material better. And just Nick Cage is just way too distracting. Every scene I have to be like, what? Why? And I don't know what anyone else is doing because I'm just confused.
Have you seen Mandy?
No, but I want to see that one.
I want you to watch that this weekend if you can. Do you have time? I think it's like an hour 40.
I don't know about this weekend, but I think I can find time this week, the coming week, to watch it.
Okay. So we can talk about it coming up.
Yeah, it's been on my list. So hopefully I can do that.
Very, very good.
All right, well, thank you, Joe, for helping us out this week, joining as you do always.
Oh, yeah. I like to help out.
And, of course, our audio producer, Lev Van Rensselaer, helping out as well. Thanks to him, he wants to remind you that you can email us with any questions, comments, queries at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening to our April Fool's episode. We'll be back next week with our regularly scheduled program, so don't you worry about that. What movie is it going to be, Joe?
Skyscraper.
Oh, yes. Well, you should come anyway.
It was described as, is it like reverse Die Hard because he has to get into the burning building or something? Oh, yeah. God. It's just
a Towering Inferno remake. Watch the original one.
But it's like he has to get in the building.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And he's got like 1 foot because that's like the way that you're supposed to like him because he's only got 1 foot. Oh,
he's only got 1 foot?
Yeah, because he lost it like in some accident or something. You'll see.
We'll check that out soon. Yes, I am your host, Patrick Scale. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, behind-the-scenes footage, animations, and so much more at quixoticunited.com and social media, presumably with a similar-sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
That's enough. I've heard enough crap from all of you. When I come down there and show you what a real star can do. I swoop low with the telephoto. No Bruckheimer, I work solo. If there's one thing I've learned, bitch, this game is about motherfucking money. I make that dollar, y'all, motherfucking money. Even make Mark Wahlberg make some motherfucking money. Shopping, got a few drops and I got milk money. Rose to the rock, now I got that socks made of silk money. I ain't got that guilt money, I don't give a fuck. I take my checks to the bank and I sign them with my love. I give the people what they love. All the critics say I'm evil. Got no time to read reviews while I'm working on the sequel. Got a gift from above, the eyes of an eagle. When it comes to blowing up, no director is my equal.
Well, I know he had one movie that played at Sundance and another movie that just came out on demand called Willy's Wonderland. And in this movie, a quiet drifter, is stranded in the remote town of Hayesville, Nevada, when his vehicle breaks down after it ran over a spike strip in the middle of the road. He's picked up by mechanic Jed Love, who takes him to Willy's Wonderland, a once successful abandoned family entertainment center.
Was the abandoned family center successful, or it was once successful and now is abandoned?
Hold on.
It's no longer successfully abandoned.
The mundane tests suddenly that he has to ask, he's performed at the Willy's Wonderland, become an all-out fight for survival against wave after wave of demonic animatronics. Fists fly, kicks land, titans clash, and only one side will make it out alive.
Oh, this is that video game everybody likes, all the young kids like.
No, these look like the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
Exactly. It's like, is it like Night at Freddy's?
Five Freddy's.
Yeah, the Five Freddy's. Yeah.
Yeah, something about the Five Freddy's.
The Four Seasons.
4 seasons at Five Freddy's.
Directed by Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, Cry Macho. Coming out in October.
I did see
he has a movie coming out this year in October.
Yeah.
That I don't even know if he started shooting yet. Set release date.
How ballsy of a programmer are you where you're like, oh yeah, let's put this Nick Cage movie into Sundance. That's fine. That's what we're here for.
See, this year was weird with the film festival releases because they're still not doing like super big movies yet.
Yeah.
We know this one's going to be awards contenders. You know, that fucking Wes Anderson movie that's been delayed and delayed and delayed now. I'm just like, put it out. How much does his movies really make?
Yeah, I don't know. Is this the cartoon movie?
No, this is the movie starring Timothée Chalamet.
Nah, I don't know this one.
Called The French Dispatch.
No.
It was supposed to come out like last April.
Okay.
And it doesn't have a release date right now.
And somehow Nick Cage has made 4 movies in 2020. I don't even think I could tell you 4 movies that came out in 2020. And he's in 4 of them.
Really? No, yeah. You know at least 4 movies.
I know The Youngbloods and Kajillionaire.
You mean The Five Bloods, not The Youngbloods?
Yeah, The Five Bloods.
They're not young. They're anything but young in them.
It's the opposite. That would be the prequel.
The Youngbloods.
Yeah.
Where they're really just de-aged.
Yeah.
Like crazy. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's all I could think of.
No, didn't you see Tenet? No, you haven't seen Tenet yet.
I have not seen Tenet, but I can understand why I would forget about it.
Why? You haven't even seen it.
I don't think I'd be
very interested in it. Have you not tenanted?
No, but some people I know here have gone and seen it like 5 times.
Already? The theaters have been open for a week.
No, but like back when it was first in theaters, like in the fall when it was still not safe.
Yeah.
But both theaters opened anyway. Here, yeah, they went like 5 times in 2 weeks. I said it can't be that good because most of the people who had gone once were like, wasn't that good.
Yeah, I saw it once when it came out, and then I saw it a month later because I was taking Rona to it. And she hadn't been to a movie all year, so I was like, well, they're open. We saw it with one other guy. And he sat at the opposite end of the theater.
Man, that's safe.
Yeah, it was.
Socially distanced.
The Regal Theater that was opened up for like 3 weeks during the pandemic closed again like soon after because there was like no movies, obviously. Yeah. But when we went in, it was like half finished with the remodel that they're doing. And so there was like nothing on the walls and it was just black paint everywhere.
Oh, they're remodeling. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's completely remodeled. Like they even have new signage and everything.
Well, it hasn't been touched up at all since like 1998, so might have been time. Yes.
Well, I think they had to change it a little bit because I think it was still called Hoyt's at that time, and then they changed it to Regal Cinemas in like
that whole thing. I mean, yeah, that might be true because that Hoyt's moved there when they built that new building.
Hoyt's.
Even though I missed the old Hoyt's location because it was like there was a center thing and then there was like it was like a spider. There were like 8 theaters out from the center, like right then and there. That was a cool design.
Yeah.
I saw Anastasia at that theater.
Anastasia, 1998's Anastasia, starring Meg Ryan.
Yes,
playing
that's
Anastasia.
True. And don't forget Kelsey Grammer.
Yes, I know. How could I forget?
How could you forget Kelsey Grammer?
Did you like what I sent you?
I did. I thought that was very funny. Rona, very talented.
Yes. She did that.
I don't know why she made that, but I'm glad that she did.
Yeah.
Then I sent it to everybody, and they are less enthused. Generally just more annoyed.
It's funny, though. The Rock.
Yes, The
Rock. Which Rock are we talking about today?
All right, hold on, Joe. I haven't started yet. You're giving away the goose.
I haven't said any gooses.
Geese, Joe.
Geese.
Yeah.
Geese.
Okay, I'm going to start then.